後半戦の第7ラウンドへと入っていきます。おあー、来たー、
ボディ来ましたね。ナイスボディ。メンデスはちょっとストレートを警戒しすぎて後ろ重心になってますね。
そこにもらいました。立てるか、
立てる。
重岡雄大ボディで倒しました。
上と思ったんかな。
多分そうですね。
なかったわけで、
あれは本当にどっちに転ぶ、どっちに展開いくか分からなかったんで、5ラウンドはそこ行き切った雄大の勝ちじゃないですかね。
Personal between me and you, and I'm going to do you some serious harm, you big stiff idiot.
The Untouchable True School Sports Empire proudly presents something the boxing game's been missing. Hey, what's going on? It's your boy BT, and I came here to talk some boxing with the thousands of True School Sports subscribers. Alright, so for those of you who regularly view the channel, you know that one of the things that makes this channel great is that I would definitely say that there's no channel in all of, at least English-speaking channel, there's no English-speaking channel, boxing channel on all of YouTube that consistently covers Japanese boxing like I do, right? And I feel like that's a great tradition we're building up here on True School Sports is our consistent coverage of Japanese boxing. And I think it's needed in boxing right now because Japanese boxing, I believe, is going through a bit of a golden age, you know, with guys like Naoya Inoue leading the charge, followed by, you know, other top flight fighters like Kosai Tanaka and Kenshiro Taraji and these kind of fighters, you know, Hirota Kayaguchi. You know, a lot of fighters from Japan right now are worth talking about. And this Saturday, out there in Ota City, Tokyo, that's why I stayed in Japan. Shout out to Ota City. I can't wait to come back. At the Ota City Gymnasium, there's going to be some pretty interesting stuff happening. It's a very interesting card, and it's not getting a lot of hype here in America because there's no American promoters that have the rights to these fighters, so it's not going to be pushed down our throats. But I'm going to bring it to your guys' attention, all right? So say the date, this Saturday, October the 7th. I'm making a video about right now a pair of Japanese fighters I've never spoken about before. And that is none other than these guys right here. These men right here. All right? So if you don't know who these guys are, that's Ginjiro Shigeoka and Yudai Shigeoka. So Ginjiro is the shorter one right there with the IBF belt, the red belt, and that's Yudai Shigeoka with the WBC belt, and that's the interim belt. Just so you know, neither one of them is currently the champion, but they're both fighting for the world title this weekend in Ota City at the illustrious Ota City General Gymnasium, which is a very prestigious venue in Japan. I want to see a fight there one day. And yeah, they're kind of doing what the Charlos did here in America about 3 years ago when they fought on a pay-per-view card against Jason Rosario and Sergey Derevyanchenko. Now, who is Ginjiro Shigeoka and who is Yudai Shigeoka? Now, Ginjiro Shigeoka, we'll start with him, right? Because he's the guy that he's the one of the pair that is getting more of the hype, right? So as it stands right now, on this fine day, October the 4th here in America, Ginjiro Shigeoka is 9-0, you know, 7 knockouts. You know, he's not very tall. He's 5 feet tall, but man, I'll tell you, this 23-year-old southpaw, mean guy. As you guys saw in the beginning of the video, he was the guy in the first clip. His last fight, he stopped the very formidable top fighter in this weight class, Rene Marcuarto, the very tough Filipino fighter. And you know, when it comes to Rene Marcuarto, this is a guy that has been and competed at the top of the lightweight, or not lightweight, minimum weight division, I should say. He's been champion before, right? So Cuarto lost his title, I should say, to Daniel Valladares, who Ginjiro Shigeoka happens to be fighting this weekend. Valladares is a Mexican fighter. They fought earlier in the year. The fight was stopped after 3 rounds due to head clash, and the fight was ruled a no contest, right? So now they're trying to figure out who's who, and that title's up for grabs. Now, Shigeoka is a fighter that a lot of people in boxing that follow these weight classes, even much more than me, feel is going to be the best fighter in this weight class. From the little bit I've watched of him so far, southpaw, he has this amazing ability to vary his punching from head to the body. He places his punches very well. He punches very hard out that southpaw stance in the weight class. Just some background information on Shigeoka. Now, he trains out of the infamous Watanabe gym out there in Japan, and I'm very familiar with the Watanabe gym. When I was in Japan, I was trying to get interviews at the Watanabe gym, and they told me for Kaiguchi, I wanted to interview Hiroto Kaiguchi, and they said it was too short notice. So hopefully next time I get the honor to go there. But you know, he trains there, and the Watanabe gym has produced a lot of top fighters from Japan. Guys like Takashi Uchiyama, Kohei Kono, Ryoji Taguchi, and obviously the aforementioned Hiroto Kaiguchi, right? Now, as far as him as an amateur, Ginjiro compiled a record of 56-1 from what I could gather through research. Didn't have the greatest or longest amateur career, but nonetheless a very, very good fighter. Now, Ginjiro also sparred with the likes of Akira Yagashi when he was getting ready to get his boxer's license in Japan, and you know, he really impressed. He impressed a lot of people in Japan, and just from the little bit I've seen, just from the Rene Marquardt fight, very impressive fighter. I haven't really familiarized myself with everybody at 105. This is actually I'm starting my coverage of the minimum weight division consistently, so I can't really say if I think he's the best, but he's damn good from what I could see. And Valladares, again, he's a guy who's been champion. He's a guy that beat the guy he just beat in Marc Rene Quarto. And I'm gonna be led to believe that there's gonna be a fight where he has something to prove, because you know he's got his brother on the card, and you know that's always a big thing. You don't ever want to be shown up by your brother. Now Ginjiro, much like many Japanese fighters, he took up karate before turning to boxing, and it's funny because when it comes to you know, a lot of these Japanese fighters, that's something that I've noticed with a couple of these guys. I believe Kosai Tanaka, if I'm not mistaken, he took up karate before boxing as well, and you know he's had a great career. Ginjiro's only lone defeat as an amateur was actually a walkover defeat to his own brother. So basically, he was beating people in amateur tournaments. His brother was supposed to fight him, and basically, his father wouldn't allow them to fight each other, so they counted it as a loss for him. So really, he never lost in the amateur. So that's how good Ginjiro Shigeoka was. So that's my little report on him. Now, switching gears out to his brother Yudai. He's on this card as well. He's gonna be fighting for the WBC title against Panya Pradabsri. I can't even say his last name. I want to butcher his name, but the WBC champion. Now, the guy he's fighting beat Wang Hangman Menayothin. Menayothin was a Thailand fighter who had like a crazy record of 54-0. I used to joke around and call him TBE. I made a video calling him the greatest fighter ever, and people got all pissed off. But anyway, Yudai, I would say he's a bit more calculated in his attack. Like I think he's actually more of a boxer than his brother, Ginjiro. Ginjiro to me is more of a puncher. Yudai is more of a boxer, but Yudai, make no makes about it, Yudai can punch just as much as his brother. Yudai is no joke. Yudai won the WBC interim title in his last fight when he took on the Puerto Rican champion Wilfredo Mendez, and I'm somewhat familiar with Wilfredo Mendez because I know he's done some sparring here in America, and I've seen him on Instagram. Like he took a picture with Angela Leo, but you know, Wilfredo Mendez is a top guy. I know just from him being guys like Vic Saladar early in his career to become champion that he's a top guy. And I actually had a chance to go back and watch the Yudai Shigeoka fight with Wilfredo Mendez, and you kind of see some of the things his brother does. I would just say he's still explosive, but he's not quite as explosive as Ginjiro. So obviously I think they're both good. I think they're both guys that are, you know, someone to watch. So that's why I'm making a video about them right now. But I would definitely say Ginjiro is slightly better of the two. I like Ginjiro's explosiveness. I think he can box as well. I think Ginjiro's got really intelligent feet, very good defense, can pivot very well. And as far as Yudai Shigeoka, you know, same thing. You know, he can do a lot of the same things Ginjiro can do. I just think Ginjiro's a bit more explosive, and for that reason, I like him more. But there's nothing, I can't take nothing away from either of them. Now, it's funny, right? Because when I was in Japan, and I want to give my boy Hyro some credit. When I was in Japan, I remember me and my boy Taihei, shout out to Taihei, he translated a lot of the interviews out there in Japan for me. When I was in Japan, I remember we got off the train station out there in Narima City, Tokyo, as we were making our way towards the Misako boxing gym. And I remember I saw a picture of these dudes on the train stop, and I'm like, who the hell are these dudes? And then later on, my boy Hiro, he brought to my attention that these are the Shigeoka brothers. So yeah, man, look out for it. It's gonna be a really interesting card. I have no clue. I have no clue how to watch it. So don't ask. You know, these Japanese cards, when there's Japanese fighters that don't have American promoters behind them, like for example Bob Arum with Inoue, Bob Arum with Kenshiro. If they don't have the rights to those fighters, then it's a little bit harder for us here watching the States, because the Japanese have their own TV deals, and you gotta buy Japanese pay-per-view, and it's like it's really crazy, right? So I'm not sure I want to watch it, but I am gonna be following what happens with this fight, and I will be making a follow-up video. But I just wanted to get this out there because I am gonna start covering the minimum weight division. It's the only division in boxing where I really haven't made a real effort to cover, and I feel like that's not fair, because there's a lot of good fighters there, and there's a lot of good fights that I think are going to happen in the next year or so in this weight class. So I think it's very important that I get on my P's and Q's and educate my damn self on the minimum weight division. But that's my video about the Klitschko brothers of Japan, the Shigeoka brothers. Yudai Shigeoka fighting for the WBC title this week, and Ginjiro Shigeoka fighting for the IBF title, both at minimum weight. So we could have another Klitschko brother situation in the lower divisions. And you know, there's definitely some big fights to be made in this division. I know I've heard a lot of great things about Oscar Collazo. A lot of people I know have said that the best fight to make in this weight class is Ginjiro Shigeoka versus Oscar Collazo. So I have to go watch Oscar Collazo. I have to watch more Ginjiro Shigeoka. But yeah, that's what it is. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Make sure you guys take time to subscribe. And like I say in every single one of these videos, you can love me or you can hate me, but I'm just a kid from Daniel. So until next time, take care, guys. Thank you for watching another video on the untouchable True School Sports Empire. We're here at the Hatanaka Boxing Gym in Nagoya, Japan. And for more great videos just like this one, make sure you guys click right here.